everyone! Just dropping in to say hello and to basically talk about what I teach and why. And really, it is because you have something really important to share with the world. You have a life that's waiting for you to enjoy. And I think so many times we get caught up in worry and anxiety that becomes our natural way of life. And we think that that is how it's supposed to be. Or we really get an idea that that's not how it's supposed to be, but we don't know how to change it. And once you drop all that worry and fear and anxiety and the doubt, you become so much more than you ever thought. And you really begin to transform. It's a transforming energy. And just to tell you a little bit about why this is so important to me, a lot of people that are familiar with my work now or my posts now on Facebook and things think I've actually had people say to me, "Oh, well, it's easy for you because you think so positive." Or, "Oh, you're not the type to worry about that type of stuff." And it kind of makes me laugh and think that I maybe haven't shared enough of my backstory. So, to the people that haven't known me my whole life, I was so caught up in worry and fear that I was on a prescription of Paxil for over a year. I gained a lot of weight on it, so then I moved to Zoloft, and after that, I had problems with that. I tried other things. I've tried Prozac, Xanax, all those things. That's what I was willing to do back then. And I was probably in my 30s, early 30s. And I was willing to do that then because it got too much to bear. Even as a teen, I had depression and anxiety, but I tried to work through it in my own ways. I think originally I started with herbs and things, and then I got away from that, and I went into a lot of escapism. Drugs, they start out being helpful and then they're not. Because then I would even have anxiety attacks like times 1,000 when I was using drugs. So every now and then I would get really religious because I have a religious upbringing, and I would try to rely on God for peace of mind. And it didn't always work. Some people that, and I don't knock anything that works for anyone else, but for me, it did not work. And I just really went through all the stages of my life looking for what would bring me peace, what would bring me relief. And when I found it through understanding that my mind is not the only thing that rules me, that I can rule my mind, and that I get to choose my thoughts, and that when I start to choose my thoughts on a thought-by-thought basis, my life reflects what I'm thinking about. Actually, your life always reflects what you're thinking about. But what I mean is that when I started to choose the thoughts that nourished me, and dropping the thoughts that felt bad. I mean, it's as simple as that. When I had a thought that made me feel bad, I stopped thinking about it. Now, there are sometimes I hit blocks, and you need to work through the transformation. And that is what Louise Hay's work really brought to me, is a healthy way to work through the transformation. Okay, so what do I believe about money? What do I believe about careers and work? Is it always hard? Do you always have to do things that you don't like? Is that one of your beliefs? Do you believe that all your hobbies are just that? They're hobbies. All your talents and skills are just hobbies, and you have to work at a job you don't like to be secure and make money just to have a little time on the weekends or on the holiday to do what you really love? I used to believe things like that. And now I really believe, and I want to help others believe, that you have the totality of possibilities open to you, that the gifts that you were born with, the gifts and the talents, they are waiting for you to nurture them and use them, and that we can do that through changing our thinking. I really believe that you get to choose your beliefs, and that is really, really something that's very important to me. You get to choose your beliefs. I get to choose what's true for me. If you want to believe that life is hard and that it's a struggle and that easy come, easy go with money and possessions and things like that, and that you have to work and always try to achieve more, then that is what life will bring you. And I got out of the rat race of that, and I did it with my thoughts. And now I teach others how to do that. I use the work primarily of Louise Hay. However, I'm heavily into the Indian mystics, Yogananda, Osho. I also am very into veganism and vegetarianism and using what we can from the earth, whether it's essential oils or natural things, using what's around us, because we're in a constant dialogue with the world. And if I find a feather on the street, I'm looking at it as a gift. It's a constant dialogue with nature. Does it mean anything like huge, and do I have to go home and look it up in a book? No, I can just look into my heart and say what that reminds me of and look for the gift that way. It doesn't mean that I have to run to a book or that something is so significant all the time, but it is significant because I believe that the world is talking to us in our own language. So if I look at that feather as a reminder to be soft and to be free and to spread my wings, then that's what feathers will always mean to me, and that's when they'll come to me. But if you believe something different, I have a friend who finds a feather and says, "That's my father visiting," then that's what's true for her. So I love that we get to pick our beliefs and what's true for us, and it becomes a magical world. It really does. And I didn't always live in this world. I have a poem that I wrote when I was 14 just to share with what I used to believe with you. The poem I titled "Nothing is Perfect." And it says, "Good versus evil, deranged versus sane. Why do they collide when they are one and the same? Nothing is perfect, nothing is good, nothing happens the way that it should." And it goes on and on to talk about, basically it's victim consciousness and a very confused consciousness. So I was always asking questions like, why is this happening to me? What is wrong with this world? Why is this world so twisted and sick? And it's when I started to evolve and transform the questions and the thoughts that I think, that I began to see everything as perfect. So this poem's called "Nothing is Perfect," and right now I believe that everything is working out for me. I believe that everything's perfect, and even in the problems that come, the problems are emblems. They are showing me something. And so when a problem comes my way, I am not perfect by any means, but it is very soon in the process that I look to ask, what am I to learn from this? What does life need from me right now? What am I being shown? What do I need to grow into to have this problem work for me? Because I do believe that life is working for us and not against us, and that we can allow life to flow easily for us instead of always rushing at it. So with that, I encourage you to start asking different questions, to really let the you behind you be, to come out and play and do whatever you need to do, whether it's my class you take or somebody else's class, whether it's a book you read. Just allow yourself to continue to grow and learn and really enjoy My mission is to enjoy life because I viewed it as hard for so long, and it was really hard for me for a long time. And again, that's something I don't think a lot of people know, so that's why I went into that a little bit today. But yeah, so now it's time for it to get easy, and I welcome that for me, and I welcome that for you too. So have a great day.